Hello, world. This is the pre-show. The show will be starting in about 10 or 20 seconds. So if you're looking at my beautiful face, just hold on right then and there, and the show will start.
All right, we've been retweeted there. We are live. What's up, everybody?
I'm
P,
retweeting.
how was your week? How was the week? The challenge so far?
My week has been great, man. I've been doing quite well, actually.
Oh, really? Have you?
It's been a good time. Just getting ready for this challenge. Uh, Spent a lot of time. I only did three different beats this time, so that's pretty good. For me at least.
That's very new for you.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. It's been great.
I
I hope
stuck
you
with
guys.
I stuck with one idea basically.
Okay, all right.
I had some really good chops of this track, and then they just didn't do what I wanted them to do. So I kind of stuck with like one idea and just rolled
Right.
with it.
Okay. So I think I retweeted, so I think we can officially start now. World, hello world. How are you doing? Observe me, this guy right here in front of your face. Sip a glass of wine. Cheers. Now, why would I be cheering? Because we are doing our 16th show. The Sweet 16 is going down right now. We are now fully a woman, and we are three beats later. One, not two, but three beats later. That is me, Piso Earth Tone, my man, Education, and my other homie, Cheeky CP, three dope producers from Buffalo, New York, who are here to present you with some interesting beat challenges. Every single week, we spin a wheel and we choose a random beat challenge. After we select this beat challenge, we have 7 days to attack the challenge with all the ferocity and anger of a velociraptor and make sure we get that beat and destroy it. And this week's challenge is a very interesting one because this is something we've never done. Well, no, we actually have done this before. We have all sampled the same track, but we haven't done this in a while. We are sampling Hurry Up This Way again by the Stylistics. And what's interesting about this track is that it was already sampled by Jay-Z for a song off his first album, Reasonable Doubt, Politics as Usual. And we are to sample a song that has already been famously sampled is very challenging because you have to flip the sample in a way that it has not been flipped, or maybe you will flip it in the same way it's been flipped before, but do something more unique and original. It's all about flexing your originality and your unique skill. And that is the challenge that we have presented ourselves this week on the show 3 Beats Later, episode 16, Stylistic Sample. So if you are a producer, if you are a fan of hip hop, if you are a fan of music, then you definitely could be a fan of our show because we're going to get three different perspectives and have a conversation through instrumentation as we challenge ourselves. So, how are you guys doing?
Great, great. I have visitors in town, so if you hear anything in the background, apologies already. But I just want to say, yeah, I knew that the Jay-Z track had the sample in it, but I listened to that track and I saw we talked about it last time. This song was sampled at least like 10 or 11 times. I had to not listen to any of that because I didn't want like any of those ideas in my head when I was chopping this up, and I didn't want it to like ruin, you know, just like
What are
have one of
some
those
of the
ideas
other
infiltrate.
songs that it was sampled? It's sampled by.
I think Ninth Wonder was on that list. So we had the whole
Hmm.
list last time. There's a list, and Ninth Wonder had like 2 tracks on that list. I just tweeted it out too.
Hmm.
Uh, okay, here we go. You ready? So the song is by the Stylistics. It's called
Mm-hmm.
"Hurry Up This Way Again."
Mm-hmm.
And number one on the Who sampled list is "Politics as Usual" by Jay Z. "Hello Brooklyn" by Ninth Wonder. and he had it in parentheses. It says, "Hello, Brooklyn, still politics." And I think we were talking about this. This was on the American Gangster soundtrack, I believe. And then Dust and Powder by Jim Jones. And then a bunch of other tracks here. Ninth Wonder again. The track is called "It's Me Soul." But I didn't listen to any of that. Did you listen to any of those?
I actually have not. There's a chance I might have heard a couple of them.
Yeah.
So,
I didn't want it to ruin the challenge though this week.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be interesting to hear listen to some of them after this and see if, I may have sampled something similarly. But
yeah,
it's interesting. All right. E is still getting himself together, I'm guessing.
Yep.
So how do you want to proceed, Big Cheeky CP? I'm sipping another sip of my wine.
Yeah, what do you got? We'll start there. What are you sipping on?
Man,
that looks like a Merlot.
Yeah, I think it's something like, my wife, she got one of the big bottles, and we're drinking economically now. So
the big black box.
It might even be Yellowtail.
We just got 2 boxes of wine recently.
When you get a box, you're living life well.
That's the number one way to live economically. There's 4 bottles of wine in those boxes.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, so we could jump into it. I could start off if everybody wants to do that. I don't know if he's listening on his headphones or whatever, but we could kind of just jump into it. I don't know.
You want to go first?
I'm unless you do. Unless you want to flip a coin, it's up to you.
I mean,
how you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty
confident.
Good. You know what? I actually am confident for a change. I know I always play this game, as you guys say, acting like I'm not confident, but I feel pretty good about this beat. But I tend to miss the mark. Like the beats that I'm more confident about are the ones that don't get that much love, and the oes that I'm not that confident about.
Yeah, what's that about?
Maybe I'm not a good beat selector. maybe I can't pick beats. I don't know. It's weird. I don't know. I'm always surprised at how people react to some of the beats.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, this beat probably sucks because I like this one.
All right. Well, I'll go first this week. How about that? Because you went first last week.
Yeah, I did go first last week.
Yeah, let's do it that way. Okay.
All right.
So
cool. I'm gonna mute up and put on my headphones.
Yeah. Mute your engines. Give me 2 seconds while I share my screen because I have to make sure the audio is right. And I just want to make sure, again, that we are all good with the audio. So what I'm going to do is just play something really quick. 1 second. 1 second. Let's see.
Regulate.
Yes. 1 second.
That was a director hand.
Yep. Hang on. Can you guys hear this? 1 second. Nothing, right?
Nothing.
What? How about now? That's good? Okay. That's my beat. All right, here we go. I don't know why my MIDI controller just stopped working. I'm in the wrong octave. That's why, right? Sorry. Just double check.
No.
All right, here we go. You ready? Here it comes. Everybody mute their engines.
Cheeky CP with the hits.
Okay, all right. So that's my beat this week. Let me kind of go through what
Wow.
you heard there. I was having some weird audio, so I hopefully that audio was like nice and crispy, but who knows? I didn't spend a lot of time mixing.
No, it was horrible. I couldn't hear anything. It was disgusting. I didn't. No sounds.
Okay, so the one thing I wanted to do was actually just talk about the sample itself and look at the way that I chopped up the sample. And the unique thing here is that there's so much in this song. We were talking about it a second ago. I don't know what's up with my MIDI controller, but it's just not working right now. If you listen to the track, we're not going to play the track right now because we don't want this to get pulled down, but there's a bunch of hits, right? The whole orchestra is hitting in multiple areas, and actually could probably play. That's what I'm talking about. Boom, all those hits everywhere, right? So all of that stuff is, you know, fun to play with, and all the different parts in the song, like there's so much in there I wanted to use, but I ended up just chopping up the beginning and then the middle of the song. So there's two parts, the intro to the song and then that one part of the song that drops down. And my big goal this week was to learn how to use the LFO in this new sampler. Again, I'm kind of new to Logic, so I'm trying to learn all this stuff. And what I did was I applied an LFO, right? So that's going to just oscillate left and right a specific parameter. And the parameter that I attached it to was the fine tuning. So what that gives you is it gives you that warbly tape sound. So listen, sounds like you have like a VHS tape that's like all messed up, right? So that is really the bulk of the sample, is just these beginning parts right here, okay? I'm gonna go back to the beginning and let you hear just the main sample. So here we go. So you can see how the MIDI controller was playing it because it's showing you the chops right there. The other chops that I took were from a different part of the song, and it's just the part of the song where the dude, the main singer, is basically doing some oohs and ahs. So this is pushed.
So Core, those transitions or slices, do you plug those slices in yourself, or does the program auto slice it?
It does both. The program does both, but I manually slice these.
Okay.
Yeah, because if you do an auto slice, that's going to help you just throw out the slices just so you can maneuver them quicker because you don't have to add them. Right. I basically just added them one by one. So one of the things that we've talked about a bunch of different times is that forever I've been using Beatmaker 3. Beatmaker 3 is the easiest way to chop. I'm telling you, it beats Logic times 1,000. So my original idea is it's kind of like my Sketchpad is on Beatmaker 3. Then I have to go into Logic and then try to recreate it. So it's a little bit more cumbersome, but I was able to do it. And I had to kind of go in manually and do that, right? So the other part that you'll hear, and I'll just solo the other part, is just these oohs and ahs. I'll let this roll. So that's just designed to kind of give you some background. So those together, that made up the bulk of the song, right? But once I had the chops and once I had kind of like a cool chord progression with those chords,
Mhm.
what I did was I recorded a bass line, right? So the bass line is here, and then that's really just like this backbone of this whole track, right? I also added an 808. We were talking about 808 last time. I used the 808 to accent in different parts of the bass line. So where the bass line really wasn't hitting on an upbeat, I would just hit like a boom. So you can hear that here. I'll just accent this right now. So I didn't want to get too crazy. This is like just kind of boom bap-ish, you know what I mean? It's like nothing wild is going on at all. I'll just solo the beat so you could hear that. I did a little bit of funky flamming on the drums and the snare. So. So I want to show that actually, because I mean, that's kind of like a big thing now. It's like finding out how to get that flammy feel, right? That like, whatever you want to call it, right? Dilla-esque.
The non-quantized, like,
yeah, the non-quantized feel, right? But I mean, it's funny because it's like, were drummers doing this first, or was like producers doing this first? I'm gonna say that, who knows, right?
I think drummers probably.
Yeah. So I'll zoom in and just show you what this looks like, because I think this is pretty interesting for anyone to mess with this. So I have two drums that are like acting as a snare. One is a rim shot, and one is a snare. And when you look at the rim shot, and I'll zoom in. So bear with me because, again, I just said like Logic is pretty cumbersome. You got to really, really zoom in here. So let's look at this. Let's look at what's going on.
What's going on here?
So what is going on? So you got the rim here, and you got the rim here, okay? And a flam, you know, is just basically, that's a flam, right? It's two hits, one right after the other.
That's very flamboyant.
And the line you could see here at 92, whatever that is, 9.2, that's right where the snare should be, right on the line. What I did was I just offset it. That's all I did. I took the pointer and just dragged it. So right when it was on the beat, I knew I wanted a flam. I had
But that's not on beat.
I had the first one go a little bit sooner, and then the next one, the flam of it, kind of go a little bit later. And it sounds like this. Okay, so that's the bulk of what's going on there. There's a couple other like sound effectsy things that are happening that I'll play, and there's a guitar line. So you heard me singing. Bear with me, I'll show you that as well. So really quick, the weird sound that you hear in the background, I did a bunch of resampling just to get this to happen. So really it's just piano, a bunch of piano, and I doubled up the sounds, and I added like a reverse, and I added some tremolo, and I pushed that in the background. I didn't want that to be in the forefront at all. You could push it up if you really wanted to accent that, but that's the weird noise you hear. You know me, I love the cabasa. So that's just accenting a little bit, kind of like a hi-hat. The bass line, we already went through that. The guitar lick that you hear in here, I'll play that. I added some vocals that sound like a pad because it's just kind of singing on one note. I don't know, that was some Al Jarreau stuff at the end. And then the chorus, what I thought was a hook was this last part.
Keep coming this way, this way, this way, coming this way, this way. Keep coming this way, this way, coming this way, this way.
So I took inspiration from the song title, right? Hurry Up This Way Again, Keep Coming This Way. And that's really the bulk of the track. When you pull it all together in the hook and everything that you hear, the oohs and the ahs, the samples, I'll play it in 1 second. I want to just say one last thing on the hi-hats. So the hi-hats are nothing crazy. These are just 8th or 16th notes. But listen to them. The key is someone, I don't know who I was watching or listening to, someone said throw some tremolo on your hi-hats to give it more motion. And I just messed around with the tremolo on the hi-hats and put it on a 8th note, dotted 8th note, and made it kind of like medium depth. And you can hear the difference. So I'm going to turn it off and I'll play. Those are straight hi-hats, right? That's just whatever, a 16th notes. When you turn the tremolo on, so the idea is the human element. How can we bring it in? Number one, I try to hit the flam off time a little bit. And then number two, I hit the tremolo on the hi-hat just to sound like it's like a drummer with a little bit of like a, you know, lazy hand or like a real human feel hitting those boring 16th notes, right? But with all that said and done, I'm just gonna let that part rock again. Here we go. All right, I'll open it up to the floor.
Wow, Corey. Honestly, this is probably one of my favorite beats of yours.
Really?
Seriously.
All right. Cheers to that.
Yeah, I mean, it's like boom bap, but in like the best way, right? And you know, ain't nothing wrong with some boom bap, but I think that you really killed it. Like honestly, I love everything. I love the bass line. I love the use of the sample, the drums, the all the little bells and whistles. I don't have anything bad to say
What about
about
the
this
tempo,
one.
P? This is not your tempo.
Is that 83?
It's an 83.
Wow. Yeah, I might speed it up a couple BPM, but
Well, I will say this. This beat, and see, you did something that I don't know if anybody else picked up on, but I picked up on it, okay? You took one of the most popular hip hop riffs of the 2000s. Matter of fact, R&B / hip hop riffs between 97 and 2001, and you flipped your own melody on the same sound though. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
The guitar lick.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
You did that. That was your twist on the whole Dr. Dre / Erykah Badu. I heard that. As soon as I heard it, it made me feel like this was like a hip hop R&B mashup.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I actually, you know, it's crazy too. I'm gonna say something else. Speaking of the R&B mashup aspect, the singing on it, I like the singing like as is. Like usually you do singings and it's like a reference where it's like, you know, this I actually like it like that. Like I think you could actually work with this not even as a reference, just add some like weird reverb a little bit to it and then just rock with it.
Then let some random rapper rap on it, right, P?
Yeah.
Some random guy in New York. I didn't know where your brain is going.
What are you
add
talking?
some reverb
Yo,
and just accidentally
why I'm trying to be low, man. I'm trying to be low.
No, that's over.
So the guitar lick, like absolutely it has that vibe, right? That but it is just a little different. That's all.
No, it's very different, but it has that energy. It has that energy,
yeah.
like that powerful.
You should hear it. There's so much stuff I recorded. You know what the cool thing about Logic is, and that's why you see these tracks. I don't know how to hide all the takes yet, which I will though. Logic will let you record and it will just keep running. And as you go back, you can say, okay, well, I like, it's just ridiculous, man. Like
you can take pieces of certain.
You could just piece together the perfect take and just, and you don't even understand how easy it is. You ready?
That's very logical.
I'm going to show you how easy it is. When you see this, your head is going to explode. But here you go. You ready? For instance, this is the vocal part at the end, right? Let me just duplicate it so I don't ruin anything. Let me save it too. Okay, you ready? And I'll be really quick so we can keep moving. So let's say these are my 21 takes. I sang a bunch of stupid stuff, which you don't even want to hear. But let's say I wanted this part of that track. Everything that you see up here that I'm circling around, this is all the final take. And if I go in and just chop, it's going to say, all right, I want some of this. I want some of this. I want some.
So as you change it, it adjusts the difference.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, it is insane. It is insane.
That's pretty dope.
Like, how easy is that?
That's really good for like somebody like P.
No, for real.
No, for real. Like for like somebody who doesn't really like program their beats and just do a bunch of takes and pick the perfect take. That's dope.
I was thinking about just doing this, like just having it like a bunch of randomness and see like what that sounded like.
Let's see.
Okay, let's stop listening to that.
No.
That's kind of.
I like to hear how haunted your house is.
That's dope. That's really dope.
Yeah.
Corey, one of my favorite beats. Bravo,
all
brother.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not done yet. Don't you dare. Play just the drum line for me.
Okay, 1 second. Let me get the drums going. Here are the drums. You ready? I'm gonna include the 808 because I think it's an important part of the depth. Do you want the bass line too or no?
Nah.
Okay, here we go. I'll just play this. And right as I said that, everything decides not to work. Here we go.
Yo, that's like a Dwele / Rashad Patterson / Bilal type joint. Yup. Yeah.
Shit.
All right.
Slaps.
This is the
slaps.
This is another one of the goals. Is this track and a track last week was, what can I do to make a track where I completely pull out the sample and replace it with something that I play in the MIDI controller, right? All it will take me to do to make this sample free is to just play those chords, right? Dun, 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 ba, 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 and that's it. But all right, I took up too much time. I'm gonna kick it to you.
I like that. That's pretty dope. That's pretty dope.
Thank you.
Wow.
I guess I'll go next.
Okay. I'm going last this time. All right, interesting.
I mean, you can go next if you want, B, but I just
no. I mean, you already volunteered, so you know.
I'm gonna just get it out the way. You know what I'm saying? I want people to be able to vibe. You know.
I'm gonna mute my engines and throw my headphones on.
Okay. All right, so this is my beat for sampling Coming Up This Way Again by Stylistics, and week 966 feels like. But yeah, we're gonna keep going. So that is my beat. And so what I did was I actually really had a lot of fun with this one because what I decided to do was actually sample multiple pieces of the track. And I created a sampled template, as you'd like to say, or as I'd like to say. Now, I've showed P this before, and what I did was I create a pattern that I like, and I don't put the sample in first. And then I fit the sample into the pattern, but I know the progression of the song will fit. So I grab multiple parts of the same beat, the same sample, and so this is the first one that I grabbed. So that's the first sample that I used. And then I grabbed this other part of the beat, which is what I played you guys earlier this week. And just. So I used that, and then I layered them up. Now what's interesting is I didn't pitch shift anything because the vocals are so already pitched in my head. It's like when I got to that "This Way Again" part, I wanted it to be as pronounced as the original track, so people would know, like, oh, that's the S from that. And then the drums, I got real simple this week, but I wanted to take it a little bit complex in a sense of just like creativity. And so here's where we took the beat this week. And I'll play it with the bass, and then I'll play it without the bass as well. So that's with the bass in it. Now without the bass, it has a little bit of a random type of awkward hip hop feel. And so I threw the hats in because I wanted the hats to give it more of a modern sound. I actually previously had a vinyl filter on the drums, so it sounded way different. So that was that, and so really the bass kind of does its own thing. And that's my beat for the week. I'm gonna open it up to you guys.
Bravo, bravo.
Yeah, man, I love this. What is the piano? Where did that come from? That almost sounds like, this sounds like a mashup of, like, it could almost be like some like Latin heat.
Latin.
I like how it has a lot of the elements of the original Jay-Z version, but like, you know, almost modernized in a way. Very.
That's kind of what I was going for. Like I wanted it to be an obvious like jack of that beat, but without just looping that same sample. So I wanted to just make it kind of like my own little feel to it, but let people know like, oh shoot, that's that, you know, that's that J sample, that's the, you know, whatever sample. And so that's really what I was going for in my head. I was like, I don't want to take it too far away from, you know, what it was originally, but I don't want to, you know, leave it too basic at the same time. So, so I sent this actually this week to P. I sent just the bottom sample to P this week. He'd be like, this sounds familiar. And I didn't know you didn't know that this was from that beat. from that sample.
This, what is can I get, how did you put together that turnaround on the drums? That's
so everything was
really,
all I did it all MIDI. So I did the whole, I didn't use so for the drums this week I did everything with my keyboard. So
okay.
it was just so just like that. And so basically I just played it all.
You just played it out.
Yeah, because I wanted it to have a hip hop feel to it, like an old school hip hop feel to it, because it was an old school hip hop track. So I didn't want to make it like trap or anything like that. I wanted to kind of leave it bare. So like a rapper, a shameless plug, would hear it, be like, oh, I can see myself on this, and then I get flowers for it. And then so, but no, I really just I like the feel of it. I like the way the beat make me feel and the energy of that beat. And I wanted to add things to it, but I felt like keeping it in a vein of hip hop, a beat like that wouldn't have much in it, but like random percussion yells and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But,
I love this. And why I was asking about that turnaround at the end there is because I find that I put those types of turnarounds at the very, very end. Like if I had more time on my track, like that was the next thing, right? It's like muting stuff, letting like the drums ring through, and then putting turnarounds where it's gonna kind of like take you from the A section to the B section, or the end of the loop to the next loop or whatever. And I tend to like add those in way later than I should.
Yeah.
But I just was curious about how and when you do that. Do you just kind of like write that all out together?
Yeah, so it's two separate tracks. So the main drum track is just the kick and the snare, and then the other one has like some other basic rudimentary elements to it. But this is really, stop it.
I like that part.
Yeah, I love that.
And then the other one is just, that's it.
That's so simple. That's so simple, but so good. You know what I mean?
So I really just duplicated the pattern onto the other one and just put sounds that I wanted in there just to beef up the sound. I really wanted to be simple with this beat. And then I added a little high to this part here just to give it some, to add something to it.
Yeah.
I feel like that went with it, but that's just a loop hi-hat top. We call it a hi-hat top. And it's a Cymatics, big shout out to Cymatics. Cymatics drops so much really, really, really dope, usable content. They have like the illest website, and they don't know I'm saying this, but they have the illest like collection of just dope sounds. Whether you want hi-hats, like I told you before, I never used hi-hats until I came back to producing recently. Hi-hats, I was allergic to hi-hats. I hated them. I didn't like the way that people use them too much, and it just wasn't for me. And so now it's like I add them in, but I add them in places where they don't matter. Like I don't want them to carry the track. I want them to just be an accent to the track. And I think that a lot of music now, the hi-hats carries the track. And without
it's everywhere, man. You can't go anywhere without.
Yeah, so I kind of wanted to add it into this kind of beat just to give it like a modern bop, because I know that it lets the beat kind of continue to flow a little bit. So yeah, that's pretty much that's the track right there. And I actually did something interesting that I'm going to show you guys if you don't mind.
No, go ahead.
I'm going to show you what I did when I was first sampling this track. And so here's where it originally was. Like, so this is, I got the idea from this, and I know I'm probably like messing up the time frame, but. So that's where I got it from originally. So the whole pattern, that sample pattern, I actually copied it from here.
Okay.
From another beat that I made, because I like, again, making the progressions where it kind of progresses slowly in chops. So I did that from there so I could grab, you know, that kind of energy, because I heard that piece. I'm like, yo, I want this to have that feel. And I never used this beat, so I wanted to use that piece of that track, and give it some air. So yeah, that was pretty much it. That's my track, and I'm gonna stop sharing now.
Love it. Love it.
Wow. Great job, E.
Thank you, sir.
Very dope, very dope, very dope. All right, so I guess that's me, huh?
That's you, man. Save the world.
I'm gonna try to land this bird, huh? Give me a second.
Don't land it upside down, Denzel.
Give me a second. I'm leaving my Ableton closed now in between sessions, just so I can make sure I don't.
This is
TPU.
This is P really just pouring up some more wine, getting the refill.
I know, right?
Yeah. See, he just grabbed the glass.
Right out of a box. I got a box under my desk right now.
He has a sustain pedal that runs to his wine box, and he presses the sustain pedal and refills his glass.
That's genius, right there.
You should make that. That should be like for bands all over the world.
Okay, let me see. Let me make sure this thing is working. Let me make sure all systems are go. Red team go. Red team go.
What's up?
It could pour from the bass, like you hit your pedal, put your cup down to the bass drum and pour out the bass drum.
Oh man, I don't know why we're giving these $1 million ideas away.
Me either. But it is documented, and I think YouTube is somewhat copywritten. So yeah,
that is, all it takes to turn the nozzle on a box wine is just this.
Oh yeah, all you gotta do is have something like that.
That's all you need is something to squeeze.
Yeah, just like that.
All right, gentlemen, please mute your engines.
Yes, sir.
All right, world. My name is Piso Ertone, and this is my beats for episode 16, Stylistic Sample. Yes, this is a stylistic sample. Oh, you see the double entendre I just did? Word. All right. Really bad jokes aside, let's make this happen. Excuse me while I switch my headphones.
What'd you do? Rob a bank? Kill somebody? Then you must be a communist.
Right. So this beat, I tried to be very different. I didn't want to use the sample in a traditional way. So first, let me show you how I broke down the sample. I started off with an intro sample, and I really like this intro just as it was, so I didn't put any drums on it or do anything to it. Very elevator and interlude feeling. Put your feet up, you know. But for the actual sample that I chopped it up this way. Sorry. And then I put in the other part. This part. Then I put in the swag. It's this little guy here that we're looking for. It's the background vocal. So those things together made a nice little swag. Then I went back to my favorite VST. You already know what's going down, the tape piano. And that's the sound that I did to accent that. And then I put a little bit of bass under that. So let's talk about the drums. The drums them. The drums them go like this, man. But then I also added some congas on top of that. And then I put a little stupid sample on under that. This is not a political affiliation. This is just humor to me.
Are you a criminal?
In a way, yes.
What'd you do? What'd you do? Rob a bank?
Yes.
Kill somebody?
Yes.
Then you must be a communist.
I actually chopped up that conversation so it came out differently. That's not how the original conversation just made it just to be silly. We here at 3 Beats Later have no we just go out there and vote, y'all. Word. Um, I think that's everything I did. Oh, I did one more thing. I put this little sexy porn horn. I call it the porn horn. Here we go. Here's my porn horn coming in. Oh, look at E. That's so sweet. So that I think that's the whole beat. I'm gonna play a couple seconds of it, the whole thing real quick for y'all. And that's it. That concludes my beat. I'm Piso, and that was how I made the stylistic. Oh, the name of the beat is Stylistic Sasuke. Um, thank you, brothers, for all of the beautiful artwork.
See, it's music and art over here. Another banger, P. This is great, man.
Yeah, we like to call it Mart.
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 It's plural is smart. Okay, no, I'm sorry.
I think we told you you can't come in with disclaimers. So I just want to point out that you did have a little bit of a disclaimer before we went live. But I
didn't disclaim. I didn't sandbag this week, as you say.
You proclaim.
This is the first week that we actually had somebody use the same exact chop. You used a little ooh, and I used that as well in my beat.
Yeah, you almost sang it too.
It's the first.
Do it again.
Thank you.
That's how you know that boy plays guitar.
Listen, I also do voiceovers. But this is sick. Where's the gasp coming from?
Oh, that's just another
it's the
little
beginning of that chop.
No, it's a drum. It's a drum sound I put in there.
Oh, it is? Because you know he has a gasp in there.
Okay.
I thought that was from the sample. Because right at that part, there's like a gasp in that sample.
Yeah. Nope.
Wow.
Well, I love this beat.
It's right here.
There you go.
P. I want to share this with Corey after. I want to share this with Corey after. But I want my royalties for this beat.
You want your royalties?
Yes.
This is an E MIDI pack.
No, this was a subconscious. He didn't even realize he did it. It's a subconscious. It's 12 years ago. I implanted this idea in your head.
Oh, there's one more thing I should mention.
Yes.
I'm stealing this from just listening to mainstream trap music, and also Afrobeat does this a little bit. Is having a kick and then not following it with another kick for a while. And you see, I bring it back in with like a triple kick here.
Yeah. Okay.
So there's this weird. It's almost like you expect the kick to be here, but it's not. And I don't really know why that works, but it just gives it a little more feeling of emptiness.
I would say there's so much of trap that like they don't like they have a kick and they just use 808s after. Like there's like a kick here once. It cuts through once, and then after that it's just all like 808 everywhere. But that's nice, man. I like that. That's like a little trickery.
This is honestly, P. I'm really getting sick of you, man. Like I'm really getting sick of I'm really getting sick of you. Like this week it wasn't as bad, but I'm just letting you know. Like we don't feel sorry for you ever again. There's never any sympathy ever again. I don't care if all my options are in a row. I don't care if they're not color coded. I don't care at all. Like we're not.
Wow.
You are officially past the point of any kind of pretense at all with your presentation. So.
Wow.
I really I like the beginning intro elevator stuff. Like
Yeah.
I could have rocked with that for a while too. Like
Yeah, I you know what it was? It was
Hold
it
on,
was
guys. Hold on, guys. Hold on, guys. Someone's at the door. Someone's at the door. Someone's at the door.
yo,
what up? What up?
Manic.
Peace, Manic. What up? What
Yo, he's
up?
at the door. He's in. He's in.
Ding dong.
Welcome.
Ding dong. We should have ding dong sound.
What's up, man? Can you hear us?
Manic,
you're
he's muted.
muted.
You're on mute, Manic.
Hey, what's
Hey,
up?
what's up, man?
Thanks
peace.
for coming.
Well, guys, we have a guest.
Yes, we do.
Corey, would you like to introduce the guest today?
Absolutely. So two things.
What's up? What's up?
Manic and I
You know
just
what?
kind of. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I had the stream running in back, so it's like doubling audio. Sorry.
So we've been pretty active on Twitter and interacting with a lot of the producer community. And lo and behold, one of the dudes who was kind of just interacting randomly was Manic Jackson. And the funniest thing about all of that was he's from Buffalo. So there's the
Nice.
four-way Buffalo connection happening right now.
Right.
So what's up, man? So one thing that we wanted to do and we want to start doing here on the show is basically just to introduce new producers once every month, maybe once every other month. And Manic is actually one of our first producer guests. So I was looking at some of his music, really dug it, saw a bunch of your videos. And then I also came across one of the videos that you tweeted out recently where you went to the vinyl shop and you tried as hard as you could to find the worst samples ever. And
that was so dope, man. That was so he shared it with us. I was like, yo, that is genius. That's such a dope video.
I thought that was a great idea. And even just kind of looking at like the creative process, a lot of it was just like chopping up and kind of vibing. So that was really cool too. So what we want to do is bring you on, give you a quick intro, and then have you partake in this next week's challenge. So that way on the next show, what we'll have is we'll have 4 producers playing the beats that they made. So without further ado, what I want to do is just kind of kick it to you and hear a little bit about, how long you've been producing, what you're working on right now. It seems like you got that YouTube thing. I don't know. Are you going to do that anymore?
Yeah. It's going to be a series. I have a crew I run called Resampled. And
nice.
so there's a couple people. I don't know if anybody knows. You're all from Buffalo, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So do you know Sloso?
No. No, I don't know.
Okay, let me give you a disclaimer, okay? We look very young and vibrant, but we're all like pushing 40.
Dude, I'm 36.
Okay, cool. I just want to make
All right, we're the
sure
same age.
you weren't mentioning like 19-year-old people. We don't know these great people who are doing it now. But no.
Like, do you remember any like a couple of years ago, like groups like Prime Example?
Yes.
Yeah, Program
Yes.
from Prime Example is part of our crew.
Okay.
I used to MC in a group called Natural Ingredients.
Why does that sound familiar to me?
Because we brought Master Ace here.
There you go. There you go.
Like that sounds so familiar to me.
But we just created a hub to release beat tapes and kind of take hip hop music back from MCs that steal beats off the internet.
All right.
So Thrift Exchange I have a rack of records in my room or in my recording studio, which is like half of it's really good and half of it's just garbage. Like I consider myself like really into recycling because I make beats out of garbage, essentially. Like
Wow.
What day do you pick up?
So like I was in an AMVETS and 2 of my closest friends who also produce were like, you know what, we should start picking out like 5 of these garbage records and just giving them to each other as like a challenge. Yeah. So my boy Alex and we decided to do the first one and just to show what it's going to be, but the next ones are going to be a little bit more like, surprise, we showed up at your house. Now you've got 5 garbage records.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
That's dope.
Wow.
I like it. That's a really cool idea, man. That's really cool. I want to see more of those. So if you need any more motivation to keep doing them, man, like I watched it, all these guys watched it. I passed it along to them. So keep doing it, man.
I
What
will
about?
also say this. Wait, not to cut you off, but just to address that the thrift store thing. I bought a record player recently, and I've been thrifting for records, so I know how much garbage is out there. So your show is going to have an abundance of episodes.
But
there's a lot of garbage.
See, for that though, there's some hidden spots though too.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys have ever been to Black Dots on Grant,
No.
but that's like my record store. When I want to buy good records, that's where I go because they've got like everything you could want.
Wow.
I actually just picked up like a bunch of Jay Dilla on vinyl there.
Oh,
like
wow.
$20 each. And then they have a bunch of crates where they have like not just your typical like trade-in trash, like, you know, Christmas albums or Mantovani or some garbage like that. They'll have everything from like Miles Davis to, I don't know, Average White Band. I copped one of their, I only used like 2 drums off that record, then gave it away, but.
Yeah. That's nice, man. You're giving away all the secrets. What are you working on? Any music? You said you're making beat tapes. Is that kind of like a regular thing? How often do you release music?
I have kind of 2 different ways I make beats. Like I have a hardware setup.
Okay.
So like I'll release those under like Sampler Science. It's like a series I started on Bandcamp.
Okay.
And it's basically raw right off like I have a 2000 XL, a 4000, and I'll just run them right off there, like into Logic, and just throw them on a tape real quick. And then there's like composing type stuff I do. Like, I can't say who it's for, but I'm working on part of a movie soundtrack.
Oh, nice.
And that's then awesome. 2 video games.
Oh man, that's everybody's. Wow. That's on the list of what everybody wants to do on this show. We just did an episode where we sampled the Black Panther soundtrack. And just like that was what we were talking about the whole episode, was film scoring and how we could kind of work on independent films that way. And that's on the challenge here. Is one of these, we're going to spin the wheel in just a second, but one of these is actually just making a track out of like 16-bit and 8-bit music, kind of just taken from like old video games and stuff like that.
That's awesome.
But so you mentioned it's Resampled is the YouTube channel. Sampler Science or Sample Science for the band?
Sampler Science. I actually just finished. It's not out yet, but I wrote a no sample album. It's called Slime Time. It'll be out in a few weeks, and it's pretty weird.
Yes,
that's what we love.
I love weird. And the hardware is, what is that thing that's like a SP? I forgot what those things are called. I think I saw one of your videos.
See, I have a really awesome wife, so she lets me just buy random hardware. So I've spent a bunch. I've got an SP404 SX.
Okay.
There's 404A, which is the same thing with a different paint job. And then there's like a 303 I use in some of the videos too, just for the dirtiness of it.
Yeah. How much do those run? I'm curious because I might be in the market.
I think $4.99 for the SP404A.
Yeah.
But keep an eye on Craigslist because there's always somebody who steals one from their boy and then doesn't know how to use it, and then they sell it to me for $200 in Tim Hortons in West Seneca.
There we go. I'm gonna keep an eye out. All right. So we're gonna move it along. So what we're gonna do next, really quick, is do you guys want to just talk about the beats at all, or do you want to just spin the wheel? What do you think?
I mean,
I'll go through really quick. I loved both your beats. I'm gonna say Alex, with speaking of the weird, Alex always starts off some crazy stuff. Right. Alex gets like extra recognition for his beat this week. But I'm gonna say E gets the roses.
Oh shit, okay. I appreciate that.
I was feeling that a lot. And I don't know if it was the piano going into like some Latin realm, but I could have rocked with that a little bit longer.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Those MOP drums. Sorry, I watched the whole thing.
All right, P. I'll go last.
So this is tough again, as always, I was really fucking with E's beat as well. Like I said, again, I really wanted to rap to that one too. For some
That's why I
reason,
made it. That's why I put it.
it definitely made me want to rap to it.
He only judges beats he wants to rap to. So.
But only because Corey, that was one of my favorite beats that Corey has ever done. I got to give him the flowers. This week.
Oh wow.
No,
Yes.
honestly, I was waiting for you to go because I wanted to give him to Corey. I'm like, yo, I had to break up the train here. Yo, Corey.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Like it's weird though, because you're like, yo, I need like 2 flowers this week. I need like 2. I don't even want to split them. I need 2 flowers this week. But I'm gonna give it to Manic because that picture in the back.
Which
The
one?
Led Zeppelin joint.
Yes, right there.
Which?
That's incredible. The magician joint.
Oh yeah.
That right there, man. That's dope. But no, so I'm gonna have to split this week. So
Oh my God.
I have to split. Yeah.
Boo.
I know. Listen, I know. I wasn't expecting P to actually like kill it this week the
To
way he
bring
killed
it,
it this
yeah.
week. Like
It was
he
good.
brought it in a way that he didn't say nothing all week either. He said nothing all week. No, he normally says I need more time. Guys, this is a difficult week. Guys, I'm having trouble. Nothing. He was quiet all week, and he shows up on time early.
Hey.
Yeah, so absolutely.
All right, listen.
Thank you both.
What's happening? Okay, so Manic, so we're gonna make a beat this week, okay? But here's the thing: there's a list of 12 different challenges. I'm gonna spin the wheel. This is completely not rigged in any way. I will say that there are some whammies on the board, okay?
He might not feel that way though.
There are some whammies on here, so we might hit something. Something that probably E picked, and it's going to be a tough one. So what we're going to do is we're going to spin the wheel a couple times just to get rid of the junk, okay? So no one really won this week. I'm going to do 2 dummy spins, and then we're going to hit the real spin. So give me 1 second. So dummy spin number 1, just randomly going to pick a number from 1 to 12, and it is 11. So we're not doing this. I'm gonna do it one more time. So this is the dummy wheel spin number 2. Okay, so it's official. Here we go. This is the challenge for the week.
You know it's gonna happen, right?
I hope not.
You know it's gonna happen, right?
Okay, 6. I don't know what that is, so I have to actually look at it. So 6 reverse sounds. Okay. There we go.
Oh, that's one of mine.
This is Pete. Can you explain what the challenge was?
Okay, so I try to make it pretty general. When I said reverse sounds, you can employ any type of reverse sounds. That's in your drums, in your sample, in any way you want to reverse anything. So it's gonna probably have to be a sample, but I don't know. I don't know if you can find a way to reverse instruments, anything.
Absolutely.
Especially
strings and drums.
Yeah.
So that's wide open then.
Yeah, it's wide open.
Like
it's wide open. But because it's wide open, you're gonna have to kind of be creative. You know, I think the person who ends up winning is gonna be the person who's the most creative in the use of the reverse sounds.
Reverse sounds. Okay, cool. So that's
I think a great beat to reference is Andre 3000 Vibrate.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that whole thing is
the drums on that are reversed, and they knock so well, and I think that'd be a very good example of what I'm thinking about.
Even some like some old Beastie Boys with like the reverse kicks and stuff like that. Just everything.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the most reverses wins.
Reverse the whole damn track.
Manic, any thoughts on the challenge?
No, that sounds fun. I'm reverse sounds and like Foley art and stuff are kind of like a background thing for me, so I'm pretty excited.
Nice.
See,
and the winner is
I already did the MF Doom remix.
Oh wow!
I got copyright strike to hell for it, but sorry, too early.
Nice. All right, so this will be fun. Thanks for joining and jumping on, Manic. Let's get to it. So we got another beat to make.
So next week will be 4 beats later.
Yes. Yes.
All right, everybody. Manic, man, definitely thank you for coming out.
Thanks,
out and
Manic.
staying in.
Yo, thanks for having me. This is dope. I'm excited.
So next
Can't
Monday,
wait.
we're gonna show it off and then go from there.
Sounds good.
All right. Peace.
All right, man.
peace,
Peace.
everybody.
Peace.